Mad Hustle Podcast Network. Beware all sensitive ears. This is podcasting without a filter. We are now making a Mad Hustle Podcast.
Yeah. What's the business? You are now listening to Mad Hustle Podcast. It's your boy, Calieo Cargo. You know how we do it, man. Motherfuckers want to know how can they call in. Let me give y'all the call-in line real quick. You know, sponsors, all that they want to know. Call in 855-456-0777. Let me know why they mad at your hustle. Don't forget. Or if you hear anything in the podcast show that you want to discuss, maybe you got your own views or comments, hit us up. And don't forget, we are on Instagram, we on Facebook, we're on Twitter, Mad Hustle Podcast. It's very simple, you know what I'm saying? Brought to you by the Mad Hustle Podcast Network. But this next part, this next chapter of this first episode, when it comes to the Mad Hustle Podcast show, we're not just we don't just give it to you just for the hip hop heads, just for the people in the streets, just for the people, we got a sense of real life here, So at the Mad Hustle Podcast show, we figured, man, why not bring in somebody who's highly respected in the industry, who has years of training up under her belt, who helps people for a living every day. That's what she does, the better people. Why not bring in a section of that to the show? It's like, we want to be able to feed you everything. When you listen to the Mad Hustle Podcast Network show, we want to be able to just give it to you, like give you all different, how can I say it? Just different chapters of life. We just don't want to talk about one thing. So we had this wonderful lady to be a part of the show. She'll be coming in from time to time. She has her own thing, but we're so appreciative of her to come in to the Mad Hustle Podcast show and give her a little 2 cents on the day-to-day things that people maybe should be doing or maybe not should be doing, And once again, if you have anything to say to this wonderful guest, if you agree or disagree, make sure you hit us up at 855-456-0777. But right now, let me go ahead and introduce, one of our members to the Mad Hustle Podcast show. It is none other than Masako Mai. What's up, Masako Mai?
Thank you, Calieo Cargo. I'm so honored to be on the Mad Hustle Podcast. And I just want to share with everyone that is, mad about their hustle and those that are mad about you getting your hustle on, it's so important to look the part. So what do I mean when I say look the part?
What do you mean?
If you guys are out there and gals are out there getting your hustle on, then make sure you are carrying yourself in a state of excellence. Because whatever it is that you're bringing to the table, selling, just putting out there into the world, what are you sharing with how you feel about yourself, how you love yourself? So my background is health and wellness and finding the best version of anyone that comes into my presence. That's what I do. So that's why I'm here on the Mad Hustle Podcast, just here to help everyone be the best version of themselves.
Man, now, right now, a lot of people are listening like, oh, man, is it another somebody just here to just preach to us and let us know, oh, this is bad, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Like, what is your main goal of Masako Mai? Like when you get somebody into your office, when you get somebody a part of your your business, things that you do, what is your main goal for that?
Well, my main goal is to help you find your strength. Because oftentimes we are taught when we're growing up is to work on this, work on that, which are our weaknesses normally. But being in the world, nobody, and I know I don't want to develop my weaknesses because that's me wasting my time. I want to develop my strengths because that's where people are going to pay me. Nobody's going to pay me for mediocrity. So I'm not here to tell you to do this or not to do that. I'm here to help you discover your most precious strengths, those things that will magnify who you are, that will allow you to command more money for your time. Because I find that to maximize our time, we need to be paid the most amount of money for the least amount of time that we're sharing. So that's why I'm here.
Who is Masako Mai? Like, who are we listening to? Like, what brings you to the people that help us?
What brings me to, say that again?
When did it all start? Who is Masako Mai? Let's just keep it short.
Masako Mai, well, what started me on my mission is my father died when I was a little girl. And so because of him leaving this earth, it left me as an orphan, if you will. And so I experienced things that a little girl shouldn't have to experience by being fatherless in the world. And so I made it my mission to develop my strength, to be able to move around in this world and suffer the least amount of blows.
How old was you when that mission started?
I'm just a little girl that became a woman that wants to help everybody be strong.
How old was you when that mission started? Like, you know, when you went through everything, losing your father, you know, going through the things, you know, little girls probably would go through, you know, having their father gone and having to, you know, be out here in this world. Like, how old was you when you said, you know what, I need to trigger this energy into something positive and start, you know, acting on it?
Well, I think for me, it was at a very, very young age. So when he passed away and I was 6, like when I was 7 and 8 years old, I was doing my eldest sister's college homework. So, you know, I'm like genius level. So it was always a point of mine because I remember having a conversation with God. Who are you that you would take my father from me? Who are you? So that set my path at that point. Who are you as creator of heaven and earth, and who am I here on this earth, left alone? And so I just began to study different faiths and read. I learned pretty much everything that I know through first reading about it and then finding my experiences in life after reading. So it's just always been something that always seeking to excel, always seeking to be better than I was the day before.
What was that first thing you did?
Life.
What was that first thing you did that knew, okay, this is my calling. This is what I need to be doing. When you opened your eyes, what was you doing at that moment?
Well, the calling part, I was attending Columbia University for the post-bac program because I thought that I wanted to be a medical doctor. You know, when your dad dies of cancer and it's, you know, so extreme, like he was dead in a matter of months, I was like, okay, I want to be a doctor. And unfortunately, sometimes as adults, we tend to put pressure on children and attempt to hold them accountable to the dreams that they said they wanted to do or be as a child. But I can tell you guys this right now. You change as you grow. The more you know, the more you change because you just have to adapt and adjust and find what works for you. And so my calling for helping people came when I was at Columbia University. So I was in my 20s, and there was a gentleman from Iran that was going by John, and his birth name was Rupinder. And so I helped him through motivational coaching and fitness instruction for him to believe in who he is, who his parents raised him to be, because he escaped Iran dressed as a little girl. So he wasn't able to be himself and find freedom. And so he came to the United States attempting to live a free life, but imprisoned by who he was long ago. So just him sharing that and through training and coaching, allowing him to uncover those things which are his strengths. His strength is being an Iranian. It's not being called somebody named John because you're afraid of what people will think of you if you go by Rupinder. So it's just being able to uncover the strength through allowing you to discover all of the things that caused the pain in your life where you wanted to go into hiding. So it was college ages, in my 20s.
Okay, so after your college ages, cause I'm looking at your bio and I'm seeing that you're way deeper than that. I see that I see boxing in your background. I see you was in the military. I see. Right now I'm looking at pictures with you and Denzel Washington. I mean, I'm seeing you on. I'm looking at you on a play right now. Like you're dressed up as an actor. Looks like you're on Broadway or something. I'm looking at this right now. So it's way deeper than that. When I bring up boxing, I'm looking. What belt am I looking at? Like what belt is this I'm looking at on this picture? Because it looks like a hefty championship.
It's a WIBA welterweight. It's a WIBA welterweight belt. I think mostly because when I was this is deep. All right,
WIBA welterweight champion belt. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay. So
and if you're listening to this podcast show, I'm gonna put it on the podcast so you can see the same picture. I'm looking at the same belt that I'm looking at. The WIBA championship belt. So we are talking to a WIBA.
But the thing is this: I'm a queen, and I feel like I can do anything that I want to do. See, when I was in 7th grade, an adult male, I don't know if you want to call it raped, molested, whatever you want to call it. He took something from me. And instead of me, so all of those people, all of me that you see in those images is everything that I did to honor myself. Because bad things happen to good people. And so something bad happened to me. But I was not going to live under the umbrella that I am unworthy, that I'm unworthy of being loved because somebody took something that was precious to me. Because when you grow up, and especially as a little girl, it's that one thing that somebody says, you're ugly or you're fat. Out of all the amazing things that people tell you, you're smart, you're beautiful, you can do anything you set your mind to. That one thing when someone says, ooh, you're fat, ooh, you're ugly, oh, you're not a nice person, that is the thing you hold on to. So I didn't hold on to me being violated because I'm not a victim. I saw that as somebody attempting to destroy greatness, and I'm great. And so that's why you see.
So do you feel like that triggers a whole lot of what you do when it comes to, wanting to train people, wanting to be a life coach, the acting,
that is
reaching out to people?
Yeah, that is absolutely what triggered it, because I know I'm not the only person that has suffered heartache. I know this happens more often than not. So it is my duty to be out into the world, to be accessible to people, to help them, to show them that they are important. So you guys, you're important.
So to that little girl right now, that little girl right now that's sitting up, listening to this podcast right now, she's like, she knows about you, Masako Mai. She's been following you on IG, on your Facebook, but she never got a chance to really hear you talk. Even though you got a whole lot of videos on your stuff, they can go watch. But she has a question in her head.
You can call in right now and talk to me personally.
Yeah, you can. You can call in right now and leave a comment, and that number is 855-456-0777. 855-456-0777. But for that little girl who might not, she's still in her shell. She's not as strong as Masako Mai was. She's still, the damage isn't still going on, but she might be hiding that damage inside of her. Like, what would you tell that little girl to help her break that shell, to pick up the phone to call us, to pick up the phone to call you, to DM you, to say, and if she don't want to talk to nobody, just to wake up and say, you know what, I'm finna be that next boxer. I'm finna, use this, what I got inside of me, and trigger it into something positive? What would you tell that little girl? How can she do that?
Well, first of all, I want to say, little girl, you are beautiful, and you are a part of me. And although you may feel like you're alone right now, I promise you, you are not alone in the world. And this time will pass. And you can do and be anything you want to be. Call me. I'll help you reach your goal.
And
you are not alone.
And we have no filter over here. So what if she like, I've heard that in church. I hear that all the time. That shit sound good, but it ain't helping the insides. I'm going to school. I find myself getting mad at people. My attitude is changing. Like, we need to know more. She's saying I need to know more than what I can hear my preacher tell me, because sometimes, especially at that age, they lose faith. And not that this is just a church show, but this is Masako Mai. So when we talk like that, we get deep like that.
I'm glad you mentioned it. I'm glad you mentioned it, because you know what? Church people are people too. And I'm just going to encourage you to ask yourself, what does God say about me? God says that you are beautiful. God says that you are redeemed. God says that the creator of heaven and earth lives on the inside of you when you accept him as your savior. And this I can tell you with regard to church people, they're people.
Right.
And I don't want you to hold people accountable to what God says, because people do terrible things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
And you have to research yourself. You have to stand on your own feet. You literally cannot depend on anybody but you. That's what I have to tell you. Because everybody will let you down, but you won't let you down. So that's what you have to decide. You have to decide that you are worth fighting for.
Wow.
And until you decide that you are worth fighting for, nothing else matters anyhow.
That's
because
major.
People will lie to you until they're blue in the face.
That's major.
But you should never lie to you.
Hey, and we're gonna definitely. Masako may be on here every week. We're gonna make sure she has a message to send to the people. Right now I just want to get. This is the first round of shows. We in the booth. We're recording. We just getting ready for this new season. We got a whole lot to bring to you. And, I just really wanted her to, introduce herself today and just kind of, give you a taste of what you could be looking forward to. But Masako Mai, before we just end this conversation, I want you to, one, tell the people how to get in contact with you. Oh, hold up. Before we even do this, get off this interview. Not only am I her friend, she trains me. And I will have to say that, during matter of fact, during this show, then, what we're going to start doing, sometimes I'm going to throw some videos up there of her training me, of her training people. We just going to have fun, with the Madhouse podcast show. But she trains me. And she got me on... I swear, I don't know what they put in it, but it makes you feel very, very different once you start taking it. You feel healthy. You wake up in the morning, you be wanting to go to work. You be wanting to pick up trucks and all type of stuff. She introduced me to this ID life, and Masako Mai, before you go, you got to tell the people about ID life. Tell us about this ID life.
Well, ID Life is individual nutrition for yourself. It's healthy, simplified. You being your best version of yourself in less than 3 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. And you can find it at worthit.idlife.com.
Now, they can also get at you to get the ID Life, because you actually, now they got to be in this Dallas area, but, if they could be anywhere in the world and they can get a hold of you, and they can get directly a hold of you. But I want you to tell them also about the nutrition as far as the vitamins, the shakes, the pre-post, the all that shit you had me order. let the people know about that shit you had me order.
Okay, so I'm all about healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit, because when we have a healthy body, we make healthier choices. So as you guys know, getting your mad hustle on.
That part. You got to be healthy if you want to get your mad hustle on.
The healthier you are, the more strategic your moves are, the greater your hustle is, and the more you earn.
That part.
And we know,
that
that's
part.
what it's about. That's why we mad hustling. That's why everybody mad about our hustle, because they trying to get where we at, right? And that's why we're here on the Mad Hustle podcast, putting y'all in position to put y'all selves in position.
Podcasting with no filter. Keep on.
It's just mind, body, spirit. You got non-GMO, gluten-free, organically certified. So for my brothers and sisters living out in the urban communities, if you're shopping at a regular grocery store, most of the products in that grocery store is from companies that are using GMOs, which are genetically modified organisms. And if you look up the side effects for genetically modified organisms, it is disease. And they can't tell you what disease is. So I myself, Masako Mai, I am all about preventive medicine. So I want my brothers and sisters to prevent themselves from being sick.
And what we're going to do...
because the FDA is working together.
And what we're going to do at the Mad Hustle Podcast Show, I'm going to put this together, people. It's not going to be right now, but we're going to work on it. We're going to put it together, and I'm going to figure out some type of Mad Hustle coupon or some type of Mad Hustle something that you can go on to Masako Mai's site and get a discount on some of this stuff so you too can be healthy. And, it's going to be for a limited time, but we're going to try to get you in on some memberships. We're going to see what it do. We're going to put that together, though. But for right now, let the people know how to get a hold of you, Masako Mai.
You can find me, Masako Mai, on all social media outlets. And find me through my agent. And, my number, everybody can have it, 424.
No. We don't.
That's not really my number.
Oh, okay. I'll just finish that. We got a lot of crazy people out here. And, I don't want to give your numbers out. But we never do that online. You just go ahead and, get at her in the DM. Go to the social media. Y'all know how y'all motherfuckers do it out there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Yeah.
That's Masako Mai, Mad Hustle Podcast Show. Hey, just how we do it. We get back at y'all motherfuckers.
And if you can't be naked, feel good naked. Okay?
Hey, and that's gonna be on our next show. Well, just to give them a teaser of what our next show is gonna be about. What are you feeling about being naked?
To be naked is to have freedom. Freedom. To feel naked, to feel good naked, to walk around naked.
We're going to be doing some of that talking. So, y'all people, pay attention. If you have any questions, for her, any comments, you agree, you disagree, you fucking with us, you're not fucking with us, whatever the fuck you're doing, hit us up. 855-456-0777. Get at us at madhustlepodcast.com. It's going down, peoples. We shall return.
Mad Hustle Podcast Network. Beware all sensitive ears. This is podcasting without a filter. We are now making a Mad Hustle Podcast.